Yeah, and apparently it has happened. We know that a couple of weeks ago, Elon Musk put in an offer of almost $44 billion to buy Twitter, and apparently we're hearing it is now a done deal. That Twitter's board, after much consideration, has decided that they're going to take his offer. The last we heard, it was around $54 a share, but because, as Sandra pointed out earlier, the share price was rising, Musk might have had to kick in another billion or so dollars. But it looks like Twitter is going to be transitioning from a public company to a privately held company now with Elon Musk at its head. And Sandra, everybody's wondering what this is going to mean. And apparently, a lot of liberals have been almost losing their minds over this idea.
You're on vacation in a small village in France, but don't speak a word of French. Imagine if you could download a program into your brain and converse with locals. And what if you could later remember that trip in perfect detail?
In the future, you'll be able to save and replay memories. I mean, this is obviously sounding increasingly like a Black Mirror episode.
Elon Musk says you will even be able to store your memories as a backup and then download them into a robot body. It sounds like science fiction, but NeuraLink believes it could make that happen one day with this chip. It's a brain-machine interface, or BMI, a device that connects your brain to a computer. But before chasing these superhuman goals, NeuraLink is focused on one thing: ending human suffering.
Elon Musk said Neuralink hopes to start implanting its brain chips in humans in 2022, later than he anticipated. Well, I gotta assume that's a hard thing to figure out, the whole implanting process.
Yeah, with the brains and the humans.
2022 is going to be an exciting year. You get your brain implant, you get your Cybertruck. They're on the same schedule right now.
Would you get the Cybertruck and get a free implant?
That's right.
Okay. Yeah. I'm down for that.
Those who pre-order the earliest get their brain implants. Elon Musk said Neuralink hopes to start implanting brain chips in humans 2022. He said first humans to receive the chips would be people with severe spinal cord injuries. I mean, we knew this going into it, that the target was initially going to be those with the spinal cord issues. Musk has previously given earlier timeframes for Neuralink to implant its chips in humans. I mean, you got to get people excited, and you got to be optimistic, so you always go with the earliest possible.
That's next year. That's pretty early.
This was co-founded back in 2016. I didn't know it was that long ago.
Oh, yeah.
Neuralink. That's quite a while ago. I don't think we started talking about it in 2016.
No.
It was not until later. Developing this chip that'll be implanted in people's brains to simultaneously record and stimulate brain activity intended to have medical applications. It's going to be medical first. It's working well in monkeys, according to Musk. And we're actually doing just a lot of testing and just confirming that it's very safe and reliable, and the Neuralink device can be removed safely. Here's what I'm thinking, Will. You got a Neuralink, and you're really pumped about it, right? And I'm talking outside of severe spinal cord injuries, quadriplegics, and it's currently pending FDA approval. If you're a guy like Elon and you really believe in this, and you're a part of the production and the engineering, wouldn't you be one of the first people to try it out?
Do you believe in God?
Elon Musk's personal views on God and religion are as astounding as they are controversial. Actor Rain asked the outspoken billionaire whether he had a spiritual life when he interviewed him. In his response, Musk ended up addressing the big question of whether God exists. Check it out.
Do you have a spiritual life?
Well, it sort of depends on what spiritual means. And there's certainly things that we don't understand about the universe. But I'm less convinced that there's, say, some super consciousness watching over our every movement and kind of evaluating it against some criteria and deciding whether we're going to go to one place or another when we die. I think that's
Listen to Elon Musk as he cries out for reality.
Do you pray?
I don't. I didn't even pray when I almost died of malaria.
Wow, that's really not praying.
Right.
I'm not very religious, but I prayed for this one.
I had this like existential crisis when I was a kid, and tried to figure out what's it all about, and none of the books I read seemed to actually have a good answer. So I read all the religious texts, and I read a bunch of philosophy books, and they're all quite depressing. We don't really know what the meaning of life is. Trying to figure out the meaning of life, like what does it all mean? Because it starts seeming quite meaningless. I was trying to figure out what's the meaning of life, and there didn't seem to be any good answer. I was just very curious about the world and how do we come to be here? What's the meaning of life and all that? And I always had a really intense desire to understand things and learn. I had sort of an existential crisis, I guess, when I was 11 or 12 or something, to try to figure out what it's all about, and ultimately came to the conclusion that we don't really know the answer, but if we increase the scope and scale of civilization, then we have a much better chance of understanding the meaning of life and why we're here, or even what are the right questions to ask.
Do you believe in God?
I believe there's some explanation for this universe, which you might call God. One way to think of it is, imagine we were going to be visited. Imagine you're very confident that we were going to be visited by super intelligent aliens in, let's say, 10 years or 20 years at the most. Super intelligent.
So you think within 20 years
yes,
we'll have alien in Earth?
Well, digital superintelligence will be like an alien.
It will be like an alien.
Yeah.
But my question is, do you think there is other intelligent life outside the Earth?
It seems probable, but I think this is one of the great questions in physics and philosophy, is where are the aliens? Maybe they're among us, I don't know. Some people think I'm an alien. Not true. Not true.
But maybe we are aliens.
But of course, I'd say